and blue runs deep. Panther Pickles on the mic, no secrets that he'll keep. Been here since day one, through the glory and the pain. Got opinions sharper than a linebacker's campaign. If you can't handle truth, well, buddy, here's the deal. Shut the hell up. That's how Pickle keeps it real. It's time to deal with it. Every Sunday we ride.
It's time to deal with it.
Yeah, it is. Keep pounding, yo.
Hello.
Hey, here we are. Thank you for showing up. Shout out to Panther Girl who's in the chat. And we want to keep pounding. Michael's in the chat. We definitely want to keep pounding. Y'all, we're here to keep pounding. We're going just a little bit of different things. So it's going to be a big week for us. So we're still going to try to do a little bit what we can here and there. Diesel Skills, my man, how you doing?
Oh, Luke Kuechly is being inducted to the Hall of Fame. The Panthers won the division. We almost beat the Rams in the playoffs. We added Devin Lloyd. We added Jalen Phillips. Icky looks pretty healthy. Robert Hunt looks good. But I'm still a little salty. I got to be honest. I'm still just a little bit salty. I'm a little bit salty that the Noti Gang is faster than me at getting in the chat. I mean, I ain't even got time to retweet the stream on Twitter and then get in here into the YouTube room. Then I got Panther Gal and Mike just rubbing it in my face, the Noti Gang just rubbing it in my face that I can't beat them in here. And I'm a little salty about it, Pickle. And that's fine. You know what?
Anthony
because
Pickle,
we appreciate 121 of the greatest people on YouTube. And they're subscribers to this channel. And they get to the chat really fast. And we love each and every one of you guys. And I'm ready for tonight's show. I'm not salty about a lot about the Carolina Panthers. But those guys are fast. And I'm a little bit salty about that, Pickle.
Well, they're a little younger than you are. So you have to assume that. Jake, what's up, brother?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. It's draft week, y'all. It's officially here. Draft week, Thursday, 8 p.m.
Don't lie. You're not great. I've read you're a lot salty, Jake. You're salty
man, that's true.
because people won't respect the future Hall of Famer, Jacob Rodriguez.
You better tell him.
Tell him about it.
He ain't just a stash, y'all. He ain't just a mustache with a cowboy hat. He is the closest thing you're going to get to Luke Kuechly when it comes to being instinctual, play vision, and just being all over the damn place on the field, and you saying his name 10 times a game. That's Jacob Rodriguez. Is he Luke Kuechly? Of course he's not Luke Kuechly. He's not even in the league yet. But he's a great football player, man, and I'm gonna be a little bit salty if we don't draft him. But hey, I'm gonna live with it if we don't.
That's right. Oh, are you chilling, bro?
Pickle, I am chilling, brother. All is well on this
another one of you lie. I've heard you argue with G-Baby all over Twitter. Let's explode a little bit, bro. Tell them all about it.
All right, he wants to go salty, so we'll go salty. I'm not going to be upset if we get Anthony Hill, but when you're comparing the two, to me, as I don't care what Luke Kuechly says, I'm looking at them hardware and I'm looking at them stats, and they are leaning heavy one-sided on the scale. You're talking about a guy that's got 120, damn near 130 tackles last year, and then Hill, I don't know what his deal was, but he had around 40, something like that. I'm not lying. Y'all can double check behind me on that. Great athlete, but between the two people, I'd much rather have J-Rod.
And J-Rod ain't got no neck, y'all, so you don't have to worry about neck injury.
I tweeted it, Pickle. The man is the Bronco Nagurski Award winner. What was some of the other ones? He was 5th in the Heisman. He won best linebacker, best defensive player in this conference. I mean, just everything. How many linebackers have you ever heard finish in the top 5 in Heisman?
Yep. That's the big key right there. He finished top 5 in Heisman as a linebacker. You're right, Cole.
And Pickle, he had to win me over because I thought last year was just a fluke. He had the monster numbers, but then when I sat down and watched him again this year and saw that he brought it up even another level, he may have another level in this NFL that we haven't even seen yet. And I'm like, Jake, I'm not calling him Keekly, but if you want to talk about a bona fide badass that's going to get to the ball carrier and annihilate people, we might have that in Jacob Rodriguez. And if we can't get him, we better find one in this draft.
Well, I tell you one thing. A lot of folks may not like it. But if the Carolina Panthers, if the Cowboys don't trade up, if they don't go from 12 to 4 or 3 or 6 to get Sonny Styles, Jacob Rodriguez will be a Dallas Cowboy with 6-1.
Let
That
that
puts the
happen.
Panthers in a pickle, doesn't it?
Yeah, I see what you did there.
So, Dan Morgan, shut that Buttercup and get your bro.
Pickle, I'd like to stop your program very quickly for a quick public service announcement, my friend. I would love to congratulate you on your 1,000th follower today. Shout out to Dylan for being your follower. Panther Pickle, you are there. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. It's been a long, hard road, but I'm there. And I actually have 1,101 followers.
You jumped that much today?
Yeah.
He got
What
one
the
to
hell?
grow on. Yeah, he got an extra one.
I did. But well, it's not all about me. Let's jump on to this other program.
It's deal with it. It's your show.
So since we're having this conversation about Jacob Rodriguez, I thought we are
JJ and Luke.
yeah. Should hear what JJ and Luke said.
A little bit of film. Everyone wants to know what you think about linebackers in particular, but there's a couple guys that jump off the page to you on tape. Why don't you talk about them a little bit?
Yeah.
But
I think the first guy that probably get taken, the first backer off the board is Sonny Styles, a kid
Stop your background.
from Ohio City, 6'5".
Yeah,
He's
that too.
Do what?
Your background, the animated background. Stop it real quick and then play this.
Yeah.
1 second, people. With technical difficulties, it's all good.
It is kind of surreal that Kuechly's going to the Hall of Fame this year. Like, it's hard to kind of cope with that as a fan. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot on my mind. It's heavy. Like, he deserves it, right?
But he ran 4.39, and he's fun to watch. He's rangy. He's long. He covers.
Okay.
Oh, it's really being a good day.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Maybe we won't. But well, I guess we will.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it, Pickle. What kind of things do they mention in that clip that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, because this is new news to me talking about it.
Well, they were talking a lot about the ability. He's smart, he's instinctual. He talked about not only smart, instinctual, he's great at forcing the fumble. Luke talked about it that there are players across the league that once they screw up, they don't have the ability to recover. Right? He does. He talked quite a bit about he's really good at knowing exactly when to hit the ball to force the fumble and when to strike. That's not always possible with a lot of young players. He's super good at that in itself, and he's by far instinctual. He's super smart. He stated he can watch himself screw up a play, and for example, he showed a film where in one play, Jacob should have dropped in cover 3, but he didn't. But he immediately countered that and ended up picking the ball off instead. So,
and I'd say
he's very instinctual.
a guy that used to play quarterback, doesn't that make a lot of sense that that's something that he's good at, Pickle?
Right.
Because
I
he
think so.
transitioned at quarterback. And some people hold that against him as a prospect, but to me, that makes him more interesting as a prospect. Clearly, a guy with no neck like Rodriguez probably should be a linebacker. And the fact that he played quarterback before, and now you're seeing people like Luke Kuechly, the elite of the elite film watchers, pointing out what he's doing as he's watching in film. I think that's amazing, and it really does mean a lot to me. Pickle, his opinion, Kuechly's opinion on what he's doing, and that's why I wouldn't have any complaints if we decide that's what we need, that's what we're going to do. We want to grow this guy underneath Devin Lloyd, and we draft him at number 19. I don't even feel like it's a reach. I really don't. But
I don't think.
I can bring up Emmanuel McNeil Warren as another guy who's good at forcing fumbles. I think he forced 9 or something it was in his career at Toledo. He's good at punching the ball out too. Maybe not correcting on the fly like Rodriguez, maybe not to that extent, but a guy that can force some turnovers that I would also be okay with the Panthers adding to on the defensive side. But I think the main crux of this is the point that if the Panthers want him, probably 19 is the only way we're going to get him. He's not going to wait around. The Cowboys, like I said last week, Panther Pickle pointed out some rumors going around that the Cowboys are looking at him in 20, and then it's the same thing today. Like first thing today, you're sharing that you're hearing those rumors, and that is where there's smoke, there's fire, Cole. And you got to be concerned if you're a J-Rod fan and you want him on this team. The Panthers better act at 19.
You don't need to play around and get caught with your pants down later on trying to get him, and then somebody else gets him. Because I'm with Pickle. If it's not Dallas, it's going to be somebody. The first team that needs to get a linebacker, they're going to go get him. And we're right in that sweet spot where the top linebackers usually go. So if you were ever going to do it, now's the time to use it. And I know I went salty on Hill earlier, Jacob, but if we have to use him as a backup plan and then go later, I'm cool with it because he is a good player.
Right.
I'll just say this about Jacob Rodriguez, and I'll be done. If they truly, truly like Jacob Rodriguez and they want to go draft Jacob Rodriguez, they're going to have to go get him either at pick 19 or hope and pray that he falls out to the first round and stays in the top second round. And even then, they're going to have to trade up to get him in the second round because he will not fall to pick 51. I can promise you that. If there's any true draft knowledge that I have, it's saying this: Jacob Rodriguez will not be there at pick 51. He will not be there.
And how are you gonna generate the draft capital to move up in the second round? Because I'm talking at least 10 picks. 51 ain't gonna cut it. We need to be 41 bare minimum to even think about drafting J-Rod the way he's trending. I don't like it either. But my point being, Cole, if you're gonna generate that kind of draft capital to move up in the second round, you better trade back in the first.
No shit.
Yes,
sir. True. Who's echoing?
Do you believe I could love?
It is. Hold on.
Covers ground. He's kind of a hybrid, I think, of he's not as big as Tremaine Edmonds, the linebacker who plays for the Giants now.
I like
Edmonds.
6'5"
frame, and then he's smooth like Fred Warner.
Yeah.
Fred is, I want to say 6'3", 6'4", but long and rangy and attacks the line of scrimmage. And since Sonny's so big and long, he's a great tackler. I wouldn't say he's like a thumper. He's not like a Thomas who's going to kill you, but he's very secure.
Get you on the ground.
Tackler. Yeah, and he can play. He could play outside. He could play inside. He could play Will. He could play Mike. He's really fun to watch. And wherever he ends up, I'm curious to how they use him. Just his skill set lends himself to so many things and opportunities to line him in different areas on the field. But as far as just true athletic, raw ability, he's fun to watch. And then my favorite guy is Jacob Rodriguez, the kid from Tech.
Hold on, before we get you to Jacob Rodriguez, because I think
I like him.
You like him. Real fast. I think it's important for everyone to know when Luke compares a linebacker to Fred Warner. That's like the highest praise.
He's legit. I love Fred.
He loves Fred Warner, so we've talked about him many times. So that's really, really high praise. I do think with Sonny Styles, the one question, and we've talked about this a bunch: who drafts him? You think the talent is top 3, top 5
talent
overall?
Is fantastic, yeah.
But then there's the inside linebacker and the positional value. So we've seen the Jets have been mocked to him,
Yeah.
a couple other places. If you were an NFL GM, are you saying he's good enough that I'm not going to worry about positional value, or do you have to find the right fit in maybe the top 5?
I think
to
it's
8?
a fit. I think if you ignore fit for players, for scheme, for positional value, I think you're doing your team a disservice. You have to draft the guy not just on traits, not just what he is, but how does he fit in your team and the cycle at which your team is. I mean, if you're a young team and you need tons of really important pieces, is it the right time to draft a linebacker in the top 5? Probably not.
Right.
But certain teams, he's an absolute fit that would help them greatly.
Yeah, there's always this best football player versus the positional value. Jeremiah Love, Notre Dame, running back is in a
To
similar
Tennessee, I saw him get mocked to Tennessee. Does he help you?
similar
that
category.
much?
We all know these are great football players,
Yeah.
productive in college, athletic. They do well at the combine. They have the whole package. It's just they don't play the right position.
Ashton Genty was a great example.
That was a
last
great
year,
example. So I think that's something that's kind of interesting. Now, the reason I pause real fast is because I want to set this up. Jacob Rodriguez, there's no linebacker I think that has been talked more about coming to Carolina on the internet,
Yeah.
on X, on Twitter, on
Now
Instagram.
just- yeah.
It's just like it's out there, right? As at least, man, wouldn't this be a cool fit? We've seen some pictures of Dan Morgan talking to him at Texas Tech.
He's got a great mustache.
He
just
looks
fits
the
the
part.
build.
They were obviously a fantastic defense. They played great in the college football playoff, did really, really, really well. Talk to me about Jacob Rodriguez and what you sort of see from him.
Yeah, I think you look at guys like him, and the one thing I think is most important for backers is how quickly can you process? How quickly can you be lined up? You see something happen and know exactly where you're going to go. And I think he's really good at that. I think he's a really good tackler, and his ball production has been phenomenal. I think 4 picks last year, had 7 forced fumbles. He was behind the line of scrimmage TFL-wise 11 times, which in college football is a big number. Yeah. And he's an attacker. Okay. Like he goes and gets it. He doesn't wait. There's a lot of guys that are big and can run that make tackles down the field, and you need guys to do that. But it's fun when you watch guys play backer and they go this way.
Yeah.
And they go forward and they attack on angles, and you watch guys play, and it's very easy to see with certain guys how much fun they have playing football, and he's one of those guys. And people have knocked him for.
So what y'all think so far?
When it comes to Luke Kinkley, it sounds like he's talking about himself when it comes to Jacob Rodriguez. Everything that he said about Jacob Rodriguez sounds like he's talking about Luke Kinkley, about himself. And there's still a horrible echo.
Oh, wow. We'll finish playing this. I'm having connecting issues
Having
here.
short arms, and I don't.
This is the only time you worry about arms.
If you watch tape and you said he had 34-inch arms, which is unbelievable, you'd be like, yeah, it makes sense. Or if you watched him and you said he had, I think he's like 31 inches, you'd be like, yeah, it makes sense. When you look at all that stuff, it only comes around when the combine happens and they measure guys.
Do you know how long your arms are?
I'm short.
What was yours?
I'm like 31.
31. I don't know that anyone measured
So
my arms.
I went and looked at this before we got on here, and size-wise,
Okay.
he's very similar to a guy that no longer plays in the NFC South, Levante David,
Okay.
who I think is a Hall of Fame guy.
Yeah.
Played outside linebacker.
Your draft class.
Phenomenal. Yeah. Stud, great dude, played there, won a Super Bowl, team captain, checked every box. Height, weight, speed.
All right, we're going to end this video here. There's got a lot of bad echoes in the video, in the chat, and it's having some issues here. And all my co-hosts are being bumped out.
That's me. I figured out what was going on. I had my portable speaker plugged in, but I got my noise canceling headphones on, so I couldn't hear it. And y'all were hearing the background. I was like, what is going on? Are we good? Is it still doing it? We ain't doing it no way.
I ain't. I'm good.
It was
Jeans,
me,
are
my
you
fault.
all right, brother?
It was me, my fault. D's fell out too.
I'm still here.
What were you talking about, Pickle?
You're unmuted, D's.
I think he's still figuring something out.
Okay. Well, yeah, we were.
Check your settings, D's, because I swear it threw mine off automatically without me touching it in the middle of the show.
Technical difficulties. We'll be
No
right
doubt.
back.
We're getting it out right now before Thursday, baby. Just deal with it.
I see 2 D's now.
Lou, I was about to say he's all of a sudden thinks he's me now in 2 of them.
Yeah, I left and came back just to freshen up the connection after lagging out twice. We're good to go.
The echo was me, D's. Don't worry about that.
Okay. I've done that before too, Cole. I heard what you said about the speaker in the background.
Absolutely.
The Bluetooth.
Man,
yeah, it's easy
with
to
my
do.
new computer, I got so much shit plugged in. I forgot I left it in. My fault.
Okay.
The difference between Jacob Rodriguez and Roseboom, the biggest difference, I think, is a lot of time Roseboom didn't even know where he was on the field. Was he a great tackler? Yeah. But a lot of time Roseboom didn't even know whose man he was supposed to be guarding when it came to him trying to line up and cover somebody. He didn't even know where he was at. Jacob Rodriguez knows where he's at on the football field. I can promise you that.
Do y'all feel like it's a guarantee we get a linebacker in this draft?
No, I don't think it's a guarantee.
I'm on the other end. I think it is a
100%
guarantee.
top heavy. There's some guys, Trotter down there. You know what I mean? That we can grab. Probably wouldn't start this year, but probably would next year. I mean, that is a guarantee we get one. No, I don't think anything's a guarantee with this draft. I think Dan's done the best he could, Cole, to set it up to where there's nothing we have to have.
I agree with these and a little bit of that because when it comes to the draft, nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed when it comes to the draft. But if we go by what we need as a team, what Dan Morgan said about double dipping, not only in the free agency and in the draft as well when it comes to certain positions, I think they have linebacker on their radar. I mean, just the meetings alone with the amount of linebackers they met with as well. I mean, it's a tell in itself that they're looking at that position seriously. Just like wide receiver, who else? Wide receiver, safety, corner. I mean, all those positions they have plenty of 30 visits with. So they're definitely looking at linebacker.
I totally agree. I'm not pickle. I'm not going to say I want it to get to this level, but what round do y'all believe we could get Galladay in case we miss out on Rodriguez and Hill? Because that's not a bad fallback plan on later either.
It's hard to say, really. I mean, you could. I would tell you third, but you got to remember if somebody else has him higher up, and when it comes to the second and third round, second through seventh round, especially
tomatoes, same shit.
A lot of these folks, they're not. This draft is as and he's right. Some folks say this is not a good draft, and it's not. But what folks will do is they'll go spot take guys. For example, they may have Galladay listed as a third round prospect. They're going to take him in a second because, hey, that's who they have rated higher than anyone else on their board.
Yeah, I don't think Galladay makes it out in the second.
So it's hard to
bona
say.
fide second rounder, huh?
Yeah, I because of how top heavy the linebacker, like the linebacker class really isn't that bad this year. It's a really decent to really good linebacker draft. It's just so top heavy. Like once you get past Galladay, really Anthony Hill, Jacob Rodriguez, those guys, and Trotter, like once you get past those guys, there is a dip. Now you're talking about guys that's going to have to learn a couple years. They're going to have to pick up off the defense a little bit better. Guys that you are really don't want out there starting right now immediately. Those are like developmental, your third, fourth back linebackers.
Well, I think C.J. Allen is your bellwether in this situation. I think it depends on when C.J. Allen goes. If he's going mid-round first before the Panthers pick at 19, then I think you should get a little worried about Gold Day or somebody like that, or even Trotter down there. Those guys
Hill
going, but because they're going to run together. You know what I mean? Like we're going to see J-Rod and Hill probably go back to back in a lot of scenarios. I would think that's possible if the teams are needy at that position because they're so close in talent level. So that's something I would watch out for 100% is where does C.J. Allen go? If he lasts, say, to the very end of the first round, Pickle says he goes in the first, or if even he stretches out to early in the second, then that's giving a lot of promise for the Panthers being able to pick up a guy like Goldie or even Rodriguez himself. That's just my opinion, Cole. That's what I'm saying.
Just a question. I'm not saying that's necessarily what I want to do. I want to get the best damn linebacker available if he's there, and that would be J-Rod.
Well, let me throw this out there, and I'm going to change topics, not topics, but a little bit. What happens if linebacker is not the prospect they want to draft?
Safety.
I mean, safety.
I'm not, and that's the
Corner.
thing, people. I'm not going to be tore up. The position in the first round is not going to tear me up.
Right.
Because y'all are saying it right now. You got the 3-4 position groups like that. You can get any player from that, and damn sure, as long as you don't miss on that, we're good. Because it will be a need.
Right. And Jake, you said something about corner. If we were to draft Gerard McCoy from Tennessee, what would be some of the things Panther fans should know about?
I think he's going to be a guy that you're not. I don't know if you initially see him right away because, I mean, he still is coming off that injury. That's really still up in the air of when he's going to be ready and stuff. But, I mean, Pickle, you talked about it. I mean, if it wasn't for his injury, he's the number one corner in his draft, and it's not even close. The only thing that's holding Jermon McCoy back from being a top 10 guaranteed cornerback pick is his injury. And, I mean, we've seen this several times when it comes to certain players, prospects in the draft, is an injury away from stardom, payday, so to speak. And it's sad to see, but I'm kind of with you, Pickle. I mean, it really comes down to who's going to be there at pick 19. Really.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Absolutely. Denzel Skills. We had some roster moves today. Do you know what they were?
Yeah. So one of the first things that we did that was important today was we signed the tender for Jalen Coker. Jalen Coker is locked in and able to practice along with him, Bryson Tremaine.
I'm happy about that.
Bryson Tremaine is a guy I think that would be in a lot of trouble if we decided to go wide receiver at 19. He could be the first one off the team.
Yeah.
First one out the door.
That's what I was going to ask you. Somebody today, when that was announced, said up. That means no wide receiver at 19.
No, it doesn't.
That's a done deal.
It doesn't.
Right. I didn't think it did, but I had to throw that out there.
Everybody just latches on to every move. Yeah.
Right.
And we got Coker dirt cheap, absolutely dirt cheap. And he's got the ball out. He's in a situation where Coker's got the ball out this year to get a real NFL payday. And I want you guys to think about this. If the Carolina Panthers draft somebody at 19, start them at the number 2 wide receiver position, a guy like Denzel Boston, a guy that's big and tall, just like T-Mac, and then they put Coker in the slot, or even to say Coker has troubles beating XL out of the slot, which he hasn't in the past. He hasn't. He's been trending the opposite direction of beating XL. So it could really throw a monkey wrench into the Coker head fans, the guys that are really big fans of Coker. It could be an issue, a good issue, I guess, if you're a Panthers fan, more talent at the wide receiver position. But at the end of the day, I feel like that's what Dave wants anyway. I feel like that's what Dave feel like this team needs is more talent at wide receiver. And looking at one at 19 seems to make a lot of sense from all the people that we brought in and all the guys that we've looked at. They're just trying to figure out who's going to be there.
Absolutely.
D's, I want to look at it like this. And this is no shot at Jalen Coker whatsoever. He is a great story. Love him. And he is our number 2 wide receiver right now. But this is the National Football League. In the game that we're playing right now, are we really comfortable having an undrafted wide receiver as our number 2 right now with not that much production behind him? I know we got Mechie. We got some nice players, Pickle, but as far as somebody that's going to take over the game on a week-to-week basis, we don't got it.
You got to remember, though, he was an undrafted free agent 2 years ago.
He was.
Now
so this is 3. This is 3. There should be a substantial jump for him at wide receiver.
Right.
Honestly,
now is.
I thought it was 2. I thought it was 2.
So and not only that, you cannot forget the game that Coker had against the Rams in the playoffs. You just simply cannot.
And that helps his argument a lot. And that helps him start the wide receiver at 2 at the start of the year, Jacob, for sure.
Jake, Stephen Boston or Stephen Bailey here. Stephen Bailey 9969 says Boston is a copy of Coker. We need a different skill set.
It's fair.
Yak wide receiver or tight end to platoon with Javon. Javon, what do y'all think?
I mean, I think I've said this before. I mean, just looking at this wide receiver class, I think there's 2 guys that have a really good fit in our offense if they go that route. One I really like, but I think 19th early for him, and that's Amar Cooper Jr. I think would be a very positive asset in our offense. And then you got Mekhi Lemon, who we've talked about a lot, who I don't know if he even makes it there at 19, but those 2 guys, I think it's a perfect fit in our offense. 2 guys that we really don't have in the top end of our wide receiver room. I mean, yes, we do got Jimmy Horn. We also got Mechie, who's another guy, a fast, speedy guy.
Wild card.
That's what I'm saying. But outside of that, you really don't have that type of speed. A wide receiver that can play slot and outside like that. And I think Mekhi Lemon and Mark Cooper both can do that.
I'm not allowed to talk about this conversation, Pickle. You know that. The yards after catch wide receiver, I can make.
Nah, go ahead, mention your boy. I don't mention mine.
Well, let's say this because
nope.
If how much does drops in college affect drops in the NFL, or should they? For any player,
I think it's gonna affect us fans wise more than anything, because we've had that situation where we've drafted people that's had drops in college and they have drops when they get in the league too, and we've had that a couple times. Mainly it's been second round wide receivers that we've had the issue with, but I think there is a little bit of a truth to that, so to speak, Pickle. But at the same time, I've seen wide receivers that had more drops in college, and then they get in the league and they catch everything. So it just, I guess it really depends on who it is and where they get drafted at. So in their situation, so to speak.
Let me make sure I get his name correct before I say this, Pickle.
Well, it's just interesting to me how people look at this, Pickle, with this wide receiving group. To say that somebody's a copy of Coker, I get that, and D-Money said this in the last episode of Invaders, that it feels like Dan has a type. He has a type of wide receiver that he likes because it's all big body guys. Even if you look to Chris Bale, the guy's 6'2", 220. It's another big body guy. Like, I think Dan and Dave literally like that at wide receiver. And I don't think we can discount that fact by saying it's the same skill set. But it's because it's a skill set that these people in the Panthers front office like and desire and want on his team. And you look at a guy like XL, who's maybe a little bit different, a little bit faster, even though he's big-bodied, and he's not getting targeted by Bryce. Or you look at a guy like JT Sanders, who's a bit of a receiving tight end, not getting targeted by Bryce. And does Bryce have the same type that Dan Morgan and Dave Canales does? Is that what Bryce likes to throw to? So all those questions come to my mind when we say that this guy looks like too much like the other. But there's options for us here at 19 at wide receiver. And to be totally honest with you, I don't really feel like any of the options are that wrong or that bad, because we're trying to make the offense better. And what our coaching staff is good at is improving wide receivers, or they have always been wide receiver coaches. So to me, it makes a lot of sense that we keep going wide receiver, because that's what we're trained to do. That's what our coaching staff knows more than anything else, Pickle.
Right. And real quick, we were talking about McCoy. This is a quote from Tom Paracello that doctors are concerned that he will need another surgery to replace a bone plug used to repair his cartilage defect in his knee. The concerns are not about his surgical repair at ACL. So just to shout out that a little bit. And again, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this. And I'm going to say this if Dan Morgan and Ivero and Dave Canales don't mind to draft this kid at 19, I can't stand up here and whine about it because I'm just not going to. He is running around. He's doing workouts now. He did a 40 in Tennessee. He's doing all the workouts you could ever ask him to do. So that's a step forward. But anyway, but I do agree about wide receivers, and I think the wide receivers, with the exception of maybe 2 wide receivers, I think you're going to get the wide receivers in the first round, or I think wide receiver in the second or third round are just as good in the second.
You said wide receivers, Panther Pickle?
Yeah, I think wide
All
receivers
right.
that you're going to get are second, third. I think you can be comparable in the second, third that you are in the first.
All right. This is why I'm glad you said that, because I want to circle back. I have a receiver later, and I know I've done it on one of our drafts, and I've said it a few times live now, that I do have a crush on. The man had 15 receiving touchdowns. He was not Cooper from Indiana. He was his running buddy, Surratt. He had 830 yards this year. Last year, he had 957 yards. 2023 Pickle, he may have been at James Madison. I know he came from James Madison at some point. Damn near had 1,200 receiving yards with 8 touchdowns. In 2022, wherever he played at, I'm assuming it was James Madison, 13 touchdowns. The man is a touchdown machine and gets into the end zone. I'd love to give him a sniff later on in the draft, especially if we needed him.
Right. And I think if Dan had his way, he would get a wide receiver later in the draft, not the first round. Because in the first round, there's a persona that you have to deal with. But sometimes you got to take what you got, take what you can get, and deal with what you got. Because I know there's a lot of groups of people out there are screaming, we need to trade back, we need to trade back. But I think it's going to be important to understand what you want to do and what you can't do. Because they can't legitimately, if the Rams call and say, we'll give you our second round pick next year, I'll give you our second round pick this year, and a 5th round pick next year if you give us our first. If you give that 19 pick, the Panthers are going to hang up on it, and they should, because you got to have value for your draft pick.
Sure.
Because they're not going to trade pick 19 for any willy-nilly pick they get. There has to be value. And I think there's a lot of fans out there who don't comprehend that. They'll get value for their pick or they're not trading. And not everybody's out to trade up. There's a great many teams out there that may want to trade up, but there might not be none that want to trade up. I think it's hilarious for a lot of fans out there who scream trade back, because nobody on this board is worth us taking. Well, why do you think somebody else wants to trade up? If ain't nobody there worth for you to take, why do you think somebody's going to trade up and give you next year's first and 3 other picks this year just to move up to a pick that you don't want yourself?
Because you got the teams like out there, like the Jets, who are dumb and use Madden and think Madden's the answer to all, be all, so to speak. So they're liable to make that trade.
Well,
Pickle.
now, if the Jets call me
Jerry
up
Jones
and say,
is still alive, Pickle.
Well, that's true. But I doubt he wants our pick.
Steven's going to say
really
no,
don't.
though.
Just to answer a question in the chat real quick.
Well, let me ask y'all this. Is Scott Fitter a GM for a current team in the NFL?
No, I think he's like a advisor for some team or something.
Is it still Washington? It was Washington.
It might still be Washington. Whatever team that he was with, he was playing like as an advisor or something like that. I don't know. But to answer Panthers Gal question about Jeremiah, I think Jeremiah Love's going top 10. I think that's
he's ridiculous. If he
if he was to fall out the top 10, if he was to fall out the top 10,
he ain't never fallen that far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was
If he
surprising.
fails the 19, I'll run to the draft and put the card in myself.
Yeah, he got to be convicted of murder, and nobody knows it.
He would have to do serious drugs live, Pickle, in order for him to fall.
And don't say that, because we've seen that.
There are buku's amount of teams that would take him in the first round, and that would take him.
Oh my god!
I mean,
every team.
At least half.
Why would you?
Seriously,
listen,
You,
at least half the 32
even if
teams
you
would take
had a
him.
running
Right.
back, I'd still do it.
Right.
Well,
Right. If the 49ers were, if he dropped to the 49ers, they would take him. And they got Christian McCaffrey.
It wouldn't matter. Panther Pickle, one more fun fact of what I was talking about earlier. 15 touchdowns for Elijah Surratt led the country.
Right.
No other wide receiver had more touchdowns than him last year.
Right.
Kind of want to wait now. I ain't even worried about KC.
Right.
How far does he fall, though? You can't fall, but Surratt, you cannot fall but so far with those kind of numbers.
Surratt's not going to the wide receiver from Indiana.
I mean, he can't go lower than third, can he?
No, he's not making it out the third round.
Okay.
Hell no.
I was about to say they're full of shit. If that's the
Yeah,
case.
PFF has Surratt at 73, Cole.
Yeah, he ain't getting out the third round.
I'm with that then.
And I think it's a great prospect, too. I'm with you 100%. And
sure.
He's like Brazel. Either one of those guys we catch in a third, Jimmy Horn.
I'm higher on them than most people should.
It was good.
I think getting some size in this receiving room on top of what we already have, Pickle Bryce needs nothing but big receivers, maybe one or two little quick slot guys, and that's it. He needs those big targets, and that's not a slight on him. Every quarterback does.
It might be his preference. Like I was saying earlier, I think we're getting at the same point here, Cole. Look at that.
Imagine that, brother. We on the same wavelength.
I want a speed, shifty, break your ankles type wide receiver, man. That's what I want.
That's the player you hate, though.
No, that ain't that guy.
I thought we had that in Hunter Renfrow, and Dave Callis hated
the player
it. So
you hate.
that's what I saw.
We had the technical route runner.
We did.
Man,
we absolutely did.
Let me twist this conversation a different route.
Oh, no.
The Detroit Lions are drafting 17.
Mm-hmm.
They wish to trade back a little bit. They call the Carolina Panthers and say, do you want to trade with us? And that way you can get Dylan Thieneman ahead of the Vikings. Do you take that opportunity and give up a next year's fourth or this year's fifth to move up to do that? Or does it take more to do that? And if it did, would you give it up? Now imagine Dylan Thieneman next to Mo Rig with your starting corners this year being J.C. Horn and Mike Jack.
I think Thieneman to the Vikings is like the most outside of first pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the most penciled in player at pick that's going to happen with Dylan Thieneman going to the Minnesota Vikings.
But would you trade above the Vikings with Detroit drafts 17?
I would if we don't give up too much. I would if it means that we don't give up like a second and a third. Like if we have to, I don't mind if we have to bundle like a fifth this year and a fourth next year, or something like that. I don't mind that trade. I wouldn't mind to do that.
Right. Okay. Chat, speak English as well.
But you know how Dan Morgan is about his picks, though, Pickle. He don't want to give them up. He wants to acquire more.
Right. Which sometimes he loves to trade. He likes it. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
I just don't know. I don't think I would do it. I don't want Thieneman that bad.
Okay.
You don't want Thieneman that bad? Oh man, that dude's talented.
Well, now Stooks is a guy a lot of people are hyped
up.
For
Arizona, he's nice too.
Yeah, he'll go right around. He'll go early in the second.
And y'all gotta remember, he knows Nalu like that. They played together on Arizona. He was on the defense, probably lined up at certain points.
Yeah, but still yet though, you know, again, he's one of them guys that are rising up to second round real quick. He might be a guy that if you want him, you have to take him in the first round. Cole, would you take Stooks in the first round?
Love him. Would love to have him as a Carolina Panther, but not in the first round. If his name gets called out next weekend, I'm going to shout and be very happy, but not on the first night. It's not what I want. No, sir.
See, I think both these this right here is an interesting conversation because Stooks has that versatility that we've discussed before.
He does. I'm dying for
He's
that.
a guy that can play on the outside, maybe not this year, but later on. But he's a guy that can play on the inside right now at nickel. And so is McNeil Warren, either one of those guys. And I'm telling you right now, if you had big plans to trade up in the second round, if you had big plans to do that, you could trade back in the first and pick up the draft capital to do it just by targeting either Stooks or McNeil Warren, and McNeil Warren's going before Stooks. I want the guy that's 6'3" back there, ball hawking and knocking the ball out. That's me personally. I'd take a small trade back there in the first, grab your guy that's going to be your starting nickel this year, your eventual starting free safety, and then trade up, get your linebacker in the second. That's where I'm at. If we're focusing on defense, who knows? We might even take a tackle. I have no idea, but that's just one trade scenario I had in mind, Cole.
Pickle, am I wrong for fading on my tackle, like, I guess, pedestal where I had them in our pecking order? Because I'm not feeling tackle like I was, at least not early, not anymore. And I could be totally wrong and out of shape on this, but I just got
that's an interesting concept. On Twitter today, we heard that
Icky was walking fine.
Icky walking just fine. So does that change the draft outlook on a tackle?
Round, yes, but maybe not so much. We still draft one just later, is what I'm trying to say. Excuse me. I don't think it's as urgent.
Yeah, Kilgore can be that way. I think he's got to develop more. I think he is more of a raw prospect than the other guys that we're talking about, which they're all raw. I mean, they ain't in the league yet, but I just feel like Kilgore is not in the same category, maybe just right outside of it as the Emmanuel McNeil Warrens and the Stoops and like that category. Yeah, I don't know if Jalen Kilgore is going to go in the top 3 rounds. So he's probably going to go in the third, more likely. I don't see him going to the second, which is a possibility, but I think third is the sweet spot for Kilgore.
I do too, and I think if you want to do that, I think he's very comparable to Stooks with the versatility, and that's something I could look at the Panthers doing in the third round. And if you want to be honest, depending on what's on the board at 19, that might end up making the most sense in the long run. Probably why he was targeted and brought in and looked at. Also being a fair. I think we brought him in on a local visit, not 100% sure. But if he is a local guy, that's even more reason to do so. If you're looking at training a guy behind Nick Scott and getting him ready for next year, not so much this year, Cole. That's where I see a Kilgore. But I am a fan of the guy for sure. But I'm like Jake. I like him in the third round.
Could we see a repeat of last year where it's not necessarily a wide receiver, even though it might be just a weapon for Bryce in the first round, and then you go defensive heavy kind of after that? Because it might not be a bad strategy. We had a nice draft class doing that.
I still think we mix it up a bit. I think we go half and half offense and defense.
That's fair.
I think that's been the blueprint of how Dan likes to do his draft, is a little bit of both, get both sides of the ball, especially if trenches right.
What about Bud Clark from TCU?
I haven't really looked. I can't really say much about because I ain't really looked at him. But I know they have looked at him, and I know other Panthers fans thought a good bit about him and say that he's pretty good. He's nice. Well, I haven't seen him personally.
He's 6'1", 188 pounds. He's a multi-year starter, extensive game experience. He shows good acceleration and range. He covers a lot of ground, getting involved in plays downfield. As a safety with cornerback cover skills, Clark gets in position to make a play on the ball, but could work on consistency following through at times. He's of course he's not a first round pick, but I think he fits that range of a guy who can play nickel corner and then turn around and play safety.
Same college that Warwick went to, TCU Horned Frogs. They usually develop some pretty good defensive players. They really do.
Right.
Pickle, I got a little something I want us to do, especially before we get out of here, if it's okay with you, my friend.
All right, go ahead.
I want to hear like what y'all think the Panthers can do that'll surprise somebody. It can be big, it can be simple, something that just really overwhelmed me since we were talking about the tackles. And y'all call me out on this if you think I'm crazy. I think there's a world where we're going to draft a damn center before we do a tackle. I think that's a bigger need for me personally, at least right now. But we'll see. What's something that you think could surprise you, or a position that we might draft higher than people would think?
Offensive tackle. Or center.
I could be
center.
wrong. We get one in the first round.
I would be center.
I don't think we take a center until maybe fourth round. I could entirely be wrong, but
Is it going to be Jake Slaughter?
No, I'm about to go to opposite what Pickle said. I say if they don't draft a center by the fourth round, they don't take one at all.
Don't take one at all.
I don't think they take one at all.
That not taking a center at all in this draft would be a literal slap in the face.
We would, Pickle. I mean, me and you both. D, I think everybody in here has been asking for a center in the draft for a while now.
We need a center.
Right.
We need Jake Slaughter.
And you know what? If there was really a bona fide top 20 overall player at center, I would probably push for that at our pick. But it's not there at 19 overall, I don't think.
But not this year. No.
I got to answer to your question, though.
What
Who's going to surprise you? I think it's guard. I was
thinking that, too. I didn't want to say
we're strong at starting guard, but our backup guards are very much in question. It seems like every year our backup guards are unable to play because they're hurt. And we may end up moving in a completely different direction and not re-signing some people that we're used to having here. BC. Maybe Zavala has a hard time making the roster this year because we drafted a guard, whether it was in the third, fourth, fifth round, that's going to compete there and push back these other guys that haven't been available. And that's I'm not even being mean or ugly. They just haven't been available.
No,
we had Curhan starting last year, for goodness sakes. Curhan had no business being on the field starting as our last guard available. But that's where we got to. So that's a position I would look out for. And we haven't mocked for it because we don't think about it. Because we got great starting guards, but the depth is the problem. So we may be drafting that in the mid-rounds, guys.
We are still huge Wilson and Hunt fans, and it's not a slight at them whatsoever.
Our kicker's name, Fitzgerald.
Fitzmagic.
Ryan.
Fitzmagic.
Yeah.
How if he would needed a contract this year, how high would you pay him?
Yeah, I don't think it costs him. I don't know how much I would pay him.
I don't know what the going rate for kickers is.
Yeah, I don't either, but I don't think it'd cost much. He definitely ain't getting Cowboys kicker money. I've seen that he got a pretty good payday today.
And who is that kicker? Is that Aubrey? Is that still
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
He's the highest paid in the league, I'm sure, right?
He's the highest, I think, with guaranteed money as a kicker.
Should be.
He was good.
He got a boom on him, son.
Yeah, he was pretty much unreal. You know, let me tell you another position, too, that I think that's sneaky that the Panthers might throw at us day two that we're not expecting. And I think it's cornerback. I think they're looking for – what they're looking for is they're looking for that starting nickel. They're looking to I believe, they're looking for a guy that's going to be our starting nickel. And that's why we're calling out some of these safeties that we are, because they can play on the inside no problem. And they're good at the running game as well. But I could see them grabbing a cornerback that kind of fell out of position that they didn't expect. And then we grab a corner before we really expect them to do that. A guy that could even step into that role for Mike Jack next year. We've talked about this before. We've talked about the agent for Mike Jack. We've talked about him looking for a payday finally in the NFL for him and his family. And I don't blame him. He's been playing out of his mind. And if he has another great year this year, like last year, 5 interceptions or something close to that, then he may be out of our price range. And maybe the fact of the matter is we should be looking towards cornerback earlier than we think we should. I mean, we like some guys down in the roster, Corey Thornton.
I do too. I keep
Keep
forgetting about him.
Yeah.
I like him too. He played in the playoffs. He did fine when he was in there. He didn't get burnt like Morig did for the game winner. But I still love Morig. And I'm just saying it might be cornerback as something we look at. If it falls, especially with these guys out there with these injury concerns, Cole, it could be the case itself that somebody falls because of these injury concerns, and the Panthers say, well, you know what? We got time to let him sit a little bit. Let's bring him in.
Right.
Did
Do
we
you still believe? Do you still believe in Thornton? Corey Thornton?
I do. He
Yeah,
was on the Panthers video today.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. He showed up at OTAs. Who started today healthy and active.
That's great. That's great news.
He's a good
Well,
football player. I ain't
I
mad at
do
it.
believe
Pulling for him.
I do believe we do take a cornerback in this draft though, because
Yes,
y'all
He was there. He looked just fine.
y'all mentioned it several times. Mike Jack is on his last year of his deal. You know, he's right there at that age mark where he's probably going to get his last really, really good payday. And you know, we spent a whole bunch of money in free agency this year. I don't know if they're going to have enough to. And I love Mike Jack. I'm not saying not to re-sign Mike Jack or nothing like that. I would love for Mike Jack to get locked up and extended, but that question is up the air if they're going to re-sign him or not after the season.
Yeah, and I think it depends on some guys like Corey Thornton. What kind of year does he have behind Mike Jack? Does Corey Thornton look even more promising than he already did in year one? And he probably will. So we could be developing guys back there under Jonathan Cooley, a coach I love. He could be growing and developing players they're going to take over some of these positions, so we don't have to pay top dollar. Pickle, we could be heading in the exact direction that we want to here for the Panthers on defense.
Right. That's it. There's OTAs, folks. Started today.
And yes, Patrick Jones was in the video for the Panthers today in OTAs. Patrick Jones was there and available.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't a hot day, so it was a great day to have some
They probably had
drills
some
and stuff.
good work
Yep.
today, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Was that
Look at
Brooks
there.
with a starting offense there? Is that what I saw? That's what it
That's
looked
what
like.
you saw. That's what you see. Was Sanders in a different number?
Well,
Maybe
yeah.
a different.
Yeah.
Did he
Devin.
switch?
Somebody, Phillips got his number.
Phillips did.
Oh.
We never talked about that.
We never did.
Well,
We
Jimmy
get
ain't got
offline a little.
Jimmy ain't got that $120 million contract like Jalen's got, so that 15 wasn't too expensive.
Look at that monster.
No,
That's a
how'd you
pretty
like
sight
that
right there.
How did you like that dude coming at you?
I'm running another way. I promise that.
All right.
Pickle be crying in, yo.
The number changes always get me, though. I'm glad you pointed that out. They get me every year. But
Yeah,
yeah,
good
Lloyd's
call.
7, 15's
Yep.
Jalen Phillips. Looks like Jimmy Horn's now, 8, did we say? Or was that Jatavion that was 8? No, Lloyd is 0. Yeah.
No, wait a minute.
Jatavion's 8. Yeah,
What
Sanders
was it?
is 8.
Was
You said it right.
wasn't Horn 8 last year?
No,
They-
Horn was 15, and he lost his number.
No. JC Horn, not Jimmy
Nah,
Horn.
Pickle, they can do that as long as they're not on the field on the same time.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
He might be wearing 8.
No.
8 and a defense 8.
They can both wear
Good
8.
point. Good point.
I'm about to say, because they usually officially announce what numbers they pick on their page, and I ain't
look at
seen
there.
nothing.
Adam Thielen come out of retirement. Just so you know.
What the hell? Is this some old shit?
We're in the old shit now.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
Pickle said he came out of retirement, showed up to practice.
Kind of get some reps in.
you never know about this.
He come back to practice today just to let everybody know he was wrong about listening to his wife about going back to Minnesota. That's all.
That's
Man,
right.
I've
That's
never
what it
seen
is,
a
man.
bigger fall off when it came to production in my life. I mean, I
Yes,
know the
you
dude was
have.
older.
You've seen it very recently, especially with the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, yeah.
Can you think of the player I'm talking about?
That's
And
left
it-
us.
And he's a wide receiver. Not only did his performance break down, but he just completely, I guess, just had a mental breakdown as well when he left it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Y'all know who I'm talking about?
KB.
No. You're overthinking it, Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
well,
ain't
he
in the
was
league no more, is he?
he was mentally broke before he got here.
Yeah, he had mental issues when he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's probably the weather.
Oh my God, this man says the weather.
I mean, there wasn't many
Breaking
other
news, y'all.
free agent wide receivers that were as
I don't like
talented
that,
as that
people.
guy. Go ahead, Pickle.
Breaking news.
You're
Susan
lying.
brings it up. This might be the guy we draft.
Bud Clark, huh?
It's Panthers.com. Right there it is.
Bud Clark.
Can you scroll down a little bit? So yeah. Go back up a little bit so people can see the picture of me included. Okay. Now, did you
TCU
read
really
that
does
article?
have
What
some.
did they say? You don't have to read the whole thing. What did she like about him?
It's on Panthers.com.
I just saw tenacious little fighter. Could be called worse, I guess.
Bud Clark, 6'2", 190.
Little
117.
fighter ain't no 6'2" is straight.
Oh wait, that's
Yeah.
it. That's it wrong.
No, I'm talking about
No,
her.
he's 6'2", 190. Yeah.
The
I
way
did
she
say it
said
wrong.
little fighter in that article made me think he was like 5'11".
No, he's not.
Well, shit.
I mean, he's a little langy, but that's it.
All right.
He's a senior, so he's
Go
older.
ahead and put that back. Go ahead and put that back there with Trayvon. I'm cool with it.
Now, I got a question to ask you. Another question. It's an NFL related question.
Yes, sir.
If you're the Cincinnati Bengals traded the 10th overall pick for Dexter Lawrence this weekend, was it a good trade or a bad trade?
I need to hear everything they gave up again to get Dexter Lawrence.
They gave up Dexter Lawrence. They gave Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals, and all the Bengals gave to the Giants was the 10th overall pick.
One pick, huh?
One pick for one player.
Yeah.
Damn, I swear, boys, I thought it was like 3 picks at least.
Now they gave up a top 10 pick for him.
Hey, good for Cincy. I know it's a top 10 pick, but shit, it's one pick.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, here's my thing about it. So at first, I thought the Bengals were just being the bungles, doing bungle things like they normally do. But after me and Pickle talked about it, they got him locked down for 3 years now. I thought they only had him locked down for 1 year. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Why would you trade him for 1 year? That's crazy. But he is a little older, 28 years old. Pickle pointed that out. I get that. I still think he's got 2 good years in him. They got him under contract for 3 years. I'm not completely mad about it because you look at what the Bengals lost. They needed some help on that defensive line. Their defense is always putrid anyway. And the question is, can they score enough points to beat the team they're playing against? So I don't think they did that bad trading number 10. I don't think they could have found a more impact player at number 10 than this year right now, than Dexter Lawrence. They couldn't have drafted a guy that would have made as big of a difference there because he can get after the quarterback. He's not just a run stuffer.
It'd be a damn shame if they still had Hendrickson over there. My goodness. That would be a scary D-line, but they can build around him. They're writing the last little big contract for him, Pickle. I think he'll still be productive over there for sure.
Now I'm going to put a little bit of fire on it.
Oh, here we go.
A lot of people say that they wouldn't draft this guy.
I would not.
And I'm going to tell you what sounds intriguing to me about him. Now, they have him listed as an edge. I think that's a mistake. I don't think he's an edge. I think he's an old-fashioned defensive end. He is 6'6", 276 pounds. He is taller than Travell Wharton and 4 pounds smaller, lean-wise. 4 pounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a guy you can play inside or outside on the defensive line itself. If you read that, it says he's talented against the run and pass, possessing the tools to be successful at the next level. He has the strength and power to play on the edge, slide down inside, but has better suited on the edge. Focus very long, which keep blockers off his frame. He's vertical rush speed, beats offensive tackles over the top. He's a savvy shed blocks. When he can't get to the quarterback, he will get his hands up, cluttering throwing windows of batting balls down. Occasionally, he will miss run fits, but consistency plays with a high motor. His comp pick is Arnica Armstead. Now, Jake, I know you've often been the key guy that says you wouldn't draft this guy. Why would you not draft him?
I wouldn't draft him for a simple fact. Well, not simple fact, but the same reason that people are out, so to speak, on Peter Woods about him having a down year and everybody expecting him to have a great year. Keldrick Faulk to me is the same in the same category of a guy that the measurable there is the talent's there, but the production fell off. And I know people said, well, he was double teamed a lot at Auburn. I get that, but a lot of these other edge rushers that's in front of him, they got double teamed too, and the production is still there. I just think to me he's just too raw for us to go after and pick.
Well, he's 20 years old, so
Yeah.
he is 20 years old. And Cole, you tell me what you think, sir. And Dees, you follow him.
Right now, is Turk our starter?
Yeah,
Is
right
Turk
now.
back?
Right now.
Then as
This
much
would
as
be a
I
guy-
scream no against Falk, the fact that Turk is still our starter right there,
Good.
I have to consider it.
I mean, you got to understand what they keep talking about that lacks what Evero's looking for in a defensive lineman. This guy fits that bit.
If he can get on the field over Turk, I'd do it right now. But see, I don't want to mess up Princely and Scorton though. That's the only thing with that. Like, what does that do with them if you do this?
But this is the point. They pay an edge rusher.
Sure, and he's just
This guy.
like you said, a traditional.
This guy plays.
He's an edge setter.
Yeah, he's an edge setter. He basically plays. To me,
He'll be in there in the
replaces
rundowns.
He replaces Wharton. You line him
I
up.
mean, that's kind of a nice complimentary piece to Scorton and Princely, though.
Right. Who could, on certain situations, play edge. In certain situations, it's a certain scheme.
I just feel like if they missed out on Jalen Phillips, that this guy would be higher on the draft boards. But since they got Jalen Phillips, and I know he's listed as an outside linebacker, but to me, Jalen Phillips is an edge, like a traditional edge as well, who they also had as a play in the defensive tackle role with not only the Miami Dolphins, but with the Philadelphia Eagles as well. So I just. Like
Are we going to have sets, Jake, where Scorton and then Phillips on the outside is our two edge rushers? Because I'm kind of feeling that.
When it comes to Evero's defense, we're going to see all kinds of stuff.
Right. And one Diesel Skills, my friend. Do you want to chime in your opinion?
No, y'all can just skip me. That's fine. I'm just kidding. No, I like what the chat was saying about Falk too. We had Justin believes in him. As a player, I like how you're categorizing him as a replacement of Turk Wharton. That should probably be a good plan for the Panthers with the production we saw last year, given the contract we're paying Turk this year, considering the ability of Ashawn Robinson we had last year, the payday he got this year. These are all valid points. And if we're looking at Kendrick Faulk in that manner, well, then that's the perfect guy to back up a Turk Wharton and then take it over next year. Maybe not be the starter full-time this year, but get some reps. Let me tell you, the only thing that I don't like about it is we drafted Nick Scorton last year. We don't need to draft another Nick Scorton this year. And I'm not saying they're not the same player. They're really not. But as far as size and weight, they're similar. And I don't want anybody else in front of Princely either. That's a problem I have with that too. But we're not calling him an edge rusher. We're calling him a replacement for Turk Wharton. And under that basis, you made me kind of like the pick a lot more than I had before, Pickle.
Me too.
Good point. I don't have that information.
It still scares the shit out of me, though.
Well, the reason why I say that is they've had him in. The Panthers has brought him in twice.
Yeah, they've been on top for a while.
They brought him into their. They interviewed him at the combine. They talked to him at the pro day, and they brought him in on a 35th.
I was going to say in a positive.
Well, if he's there, I would. The reason why I'm bringing him up, the reason why he's there is if he's our pick, I want to have an idea of who he is other than what I've heard.
Well,
I don't want him to be their pick and everybody fall apart. And then the more we study about him, the more we realize. I looked at him a little bit today. I view him strictly as a replacement. Now, he's got some talent and ability to drop in coverage, even though he's so raw at doing it, it would be a mistake. But as far as on the defensive line, he's got that talent to do that.
Well, not like that, Pickle. I mean, just to go with the positive light with him, and the dude is, I mean, he has the measurables. I mean, my God,
Right.
the dude's 6'6", 276 pounds. I mean, if that's
Right.
not a monster, I don't know what
Right.
is. I mean, that is the flip side. If you go with the Nick Scorton comparison, I mean, that is what Falk has that Nick Scorton don't have. Is Nick Scorton ain't 6'6"? Nick Scorton is 6'2". You know, I mean, that is a big difference when it comes to on the defensive line. But it's just, I wish if Falk would have had more production this year coming off his season, I don't think I would mind his pick as much as I do at pick 19. If he had more production, you could definitely talk me into them picking him at 19.
And Nick is 257 pounds right now. And y'all just imagine this briefly, okay? Imagine a defensive line lined up as 3 and 10, no passing down. You have Lloyd, you have Phillips, Scorton on the outside, and you have Derek Brown and Kendrick Falk lined up on the inside. Or swap it out a little bit. You put Phillips or Scorton on the inside next to Falk, and you put Princely on the outside.
There's a lot of shit you can
there's
do.
a lot of combinations.
I hated this pick at first, but there's so much shit you can do.
There's a lot of combinations you can go with.
I still don't think we should do it. It scares the shit out of me, but I'm more open-minded to it after we've had this conversation.
Right.
I'm with you, Cole. It's a scary pick.
It's scary. That's the only thing we really talked about that has scared the shit out of me so far.
So come the 19th, come Thursday, if they walk up to the podium and this is our pick, y'all remember real quick this conversation.
Absolutely.
We covered it. And you're talking about Nick Scorton. Nick Scorton was playing at 265. So 4 inches shorter.
He was.
But only 10 pounds lighter. It's just telling you, well, y'all seen Nick. Y'all know he's a muscular guy. He's a big dude.
Yes.
So that's all it is. This guy's a little more linked. He's filled out at 276 for sure, but he's just a little taller than Nick, really, because Nick is he's a big guy, big strong.
He really is. I definitely don't want him to get less snaps.
Who cut weight? He cut weight to do what he's doing for Avero, so we got to add that in there too. He can be close to this size. Just of course he can't make himself taller.
Well, you got to remember, Falk's arm length is 34 inches. And Luke said that today, and I wish I could. I would love to go back and play that whole video. Luke said when your arms are so long that the tackle, he said the only thing he remembers is about the Cowboy game in Thanksgiving where he had them 2 picks, is the fact that the Cowboys pass rusher or Cowboys offensive tackle reached out with them long arms, and he said, I was supposed to blitz on that play. I got shoved clear to the ground. And when I was still down, and he still had his hand on. He said, I look like a kid swinging my arms, hitting nothing because his arm is so long. So, long arms on the blocks, you can control them. And with his long arms, he's going to get his arm to a quarterback quicker than maybe even push out some of these offensive linemen quicker than they can get there. So
I'm glad you brought that up, though, Pickle, because I think that's the main concern that a lot of teams have with Bain Jr., Ruben Bain Jr.
Right.
Is his arm length is short, and those offensive linemen have longer arms, and they can get their hands on him before he can get his hands around them, so to speak.
Right.
But
and his 40 time was 4.67, by the way.
That's not bad. 4.67 for him, for Falk?
Right.
Yeah, that's not bad at all for that.
Right. And his RAS score is a 9.10 out
Yeah.
of 10.
Wow.
He's pretty smart.
Did we undersell this man a little bit?
It appears that way, don't it?
I believe if his production wasn't so down this year, I think he honestly would have been a top 10 pick. That's the only reason
Well,
why.
everybody at Auburn was down though. That's
what I was
Yeah.
about to ask, Pickle. I'm gonna have to go. check
Anthony,
up on
you're
him.
correct. You're correct. I never thought of that. You are correct. His archetype could be not Charles Johnson. I was thinking, but I think he's a little bit better than DJ Johnson. DJ Johnson didn't have no heart in his game.
And he was a tight end like the year before we
Right.
drafted him. So
Right.
That's like, sure.
Right. Well, I mean, you're right. If you only go by last year's stats, then 90% of the guys in this draft, not 90, but a large portion of folks in this draft would not fit this entire draft. I mean, let's be real. If you go by just last year's stats, Bryce Young would have been cut right after his rookie year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to go when you're an NFL GM, and you have a right to think that. Fans can think all this stuff they want. That's their privilege. But when you are an NFL GM, you have to look beyond the 1 year. That's why you get paid all that big money, to look beyond that 1 year. You know, I'm working myself into understanding a lot of these picks, because whoever they take at 19, I'm not planning to get upset, freak out.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen to me.
I don't feel like that's gonna happen this year. I really don't, because like I told y'all, there's several guys that I like at 19 that I would not be upset whatsoever if they go that route.
Right.
There's guys I love, of course, but there's
Right.
several that I don't mind whatsoever if they go that route.
Right. And Ant, you may not have been here. I told the other guys, this title says edge. I don't view him as an edge rusher. I view him as a replacement for Travell Wharton, which is a D tackle. I look at him as a D tackle who can play edge in a 3-4, because he's 206, 276 pounds. He don't have to play edge. Now, I would never put him as a edge under Ivera where he drops in coverage. I would never do that. To me, this guy is a defensive end in a 4-3, realistically. But we don't run a 4-3, so I'm going to do my best. I'm going to treat him like he's Travell Wharton, a replacement for Travell Wharton. Because the next year or two, you can get out of Wharton's contract. And listen, I'm not going to be afraid. If
quicker
we draft
do
this
that,
guy,
the better, Pickle. I'll say it.
if we draft this guy, and Tillis wasn't lying, he could cut Wharton right after June 1st, and not worry about a cap hit.
When? Next year or this year?
This year, because he said the cap. Tillis said the cap for the next 2 years is fake.
But then after that, it gets really real.
After that, you have to pay. Right.
D's, I'd put myself in a situation where that's exactly what I would do. I'm sorry. Odds gone, it's true. I'd have something replaced that's better, and he would not be on this roster going, that number is ridiculous what he's making.
Mm-hmm. What was
given the games played in production, you're 100% correct. He didn't live up to the number. That's facts.
So what was his stat before 2020? What he had? Oh, shut up. He had 7 sacks in 24.
That's his best year too.
Yeah.
I think you're talking me out of it at this point, Pickle.
We'll see.
That's why I'm saying that's my whole issue with him, man. It's not the man.
Well, I mean, but you guys also got to understand, Dan Morgan thinks different than we do. And
oh yeah, he also has a lot more access to information than we do too.
Right.
I mean,
right.
He gets to sit down and talk to these guys.
Yeah. He may sit down there and talk to this guy, not that guy. He don't need to talk to that guy, and nowhere near going to be there. Ain't no use to talk to that guy. But
that dude's a beast, though. I will say that.
Now listen, if he was there, I'd beat people up, get down that podium. Carry me to the club and knock people out, get that, Teddy. Anyway, but this Dan has the ability to talk to the coaches at Auburn, to talk to the teammates, to figure out why this guy has the stats he's got. Is it the fact that he's learning his pass rush moves? Is it the fact that or is it a lot to do with coaches in his scheme he's in? Or is it he's not got a lot of talent around him and he's doing his best he can? I'm not saying this guy's going to be a Hall of Famer or a successful guy. I'm not even going to say he's going to be the pick. He may be gone in a lot of mocks. He's gone before we have our pick. I'm just saying I want to be ready if he is the pick, that I know something about him, and I'm not going to lose my sense of reality if he's a pick. Because at 19, it's hard to have that pick right. And you have to, as a fan, and a podcaster, you've got to be correct and understand what you get. If you're going to wait till Thursday and he pops up and you're doing a show and you're going to say, all right, somebody tell me who the flipping fuck this is, you're not a very good podcaster in my opinion.
No.
Well, it's number 3 and number 4 overall consensus at edge rusher. Panthers fans pretty much hate. We're disgusted by Mesidor and Falk both, for the most part. I'm not trying to speak for everybody or anything, but for the most part, Panthers fans hate us picking him, either one of those guys at number 19 overall. And maybe we're out of touch with reality a little bit. I'm starting to question what we're doing as Panthers fans. Like, a good edge rusher isn't a bad pick, but I've heard the arguments at the same time. So I'm not a big fan of taking edge rusher either, but do the Panthers see it differently because we just paid a guy $120 million?
That dude's been in the NFL for 20 years. He got to be near 30.
I think he's 25.
Been in the league
I'm about to say he's 25.
Yeah,
he's
been
the
in the
older
league for
prospect.
like 7 years. He made a career in the NFL. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Damn it, Pickle.
Lord.
He retired here. He retired in college football.
That's about to start.
From one screen to the next, it said 259 to 280.
Right.
For Mesidor. That's crazy.
It is.
Well, but the same thing is we got Princely, Nick Scorton, back-to-back last year, second round for Nick, third round for Princely. I don't think we're looking at edge rusher. I don't think Panthers fans are too crazy for not liking the third and fourth edge rusher in this draft because of what we did last year. They believe in those guys. I believe in those guys. I think they're going to develop. You got to remember, Nick Scorton tied this team last year as a leader in sacks with 5. So. And he played every time I saw him, man, he was playing his heart out. He never gave up, never gave in. He kept pounding. He was chasing after the quarterback, no matter how many times he got juked by Baker Mayfield. So I still believe in our edge rushers. I don't think we're going there, but I think it was smart to point it out, Pickle.
Right. Y'all, that's all I got.
You had a good one, sir.
What's going on Thursday?
Oh, it'll be the biggest Cole show in history, Pickle. Not even going to lie to you. It is the Blue&Black Attacks first podcast that we'll be doing together for the whole draft. We're going to have something going for you every night. I believe I'm going to host Thursday. Pickle's going to take care of you on Friday, and it's going to be a collective effort, not only on Saturday, but throughout the whole thing. D's and Jake's going to hold us down. Looking forward to having D Money on too. It's going to be a great time, Panther Pickle.
Absolutely. All the members of the Blue&Black Attack podcast will be on.
And Panthers community.
And we will have an open mic, so anybody who wants to jump on and join with us, with the links will be in the chats.
Probably have to rotate people. But it'll be all right. Please come through. If you got something you need to say, we'll give you time.
We can hold up to 10 people in this.
Yeah, I was going to say, we can hold 10. We ain't rotating nobody. We got plenty of room. Everybody come on.
Oh, I thought it was only like 5. We can do 10. That's why I said that.
Yep, that's why we upgraded.
That's why we did upgrade, didn't we? So, we got you. Come through.
You don't, Justin, you don't often get Rookie of the Year at pick 19. Sorry.
Jacob, are you ready to give us your final thoughts, my friend?
Oh yeah, another great episode of Deal With It, man. I'm looking forward to Thursday to spend time with y'all. It's the draft. I mean, I know it's gonna be a great time. Thank everybody for being along with this journey. Thank y'all for making this possible and being along with us with the ride we've had. And I know y'all looking forward to Thursday and
Big
just
time.
the whole weekend as a whole, as a draft. I mean, it's draft time. I'm so excited. I'm ready. Keep pounding, y'all.
Deez, this is the best year outside of the damn season. How you feel about it?
I mean, we just said that in the chat, or people just said that to the chat. Yeah, we won that. Yeah, we won Rookie of the Year. We did. And the division. That's right. And Luke Kuechly's going to the Hall of Fame. Yep. And we drafted number 19 this year. Yep. This is so exciting as a Panthers fan. We want you to join this excitement. We want you to be a part of it, be part of the community, the whole deal. Thursday is massive. Finding out, figuring out what Dan Morgan's going to do. We've shown you 10 different ways Dan can handle this, if not 20. You got plenty of ideas how this is going to go down. And, man, I'm stoked. We got Blue&Black beats, original music from the Blue&Black Attack about the Carolina Panthers coming out on Wednesday, 7:30. Make sure you're there. Come hang out with us. We're just vibing, getting ready for this show on Thursday. This draft 2026 for the Carolina Panthers. 50-year option on the line for Bryce. Man, so much going on with this team. We really drafted a wide receiver, y'all, and won Rookie of the Year. Just saying.
Right.
It happened.
Exciting times for the Carolina Panthers. If I had to tell you one thing, I'd tell you this. Let's have some fun this week with the draft, and let's keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Look at me, you see my toil. Promises broken, our blood and oil. We started in darkness, 0 and 2, but the lighthouse kept burning, guiding us through. The doubters were loud, the critics were mean. Said this young team had no chance to dream, but we kept on pounding through the stormy night. Our lighthouse remains, these waves of light. Ships will sail and chances will burn. The saints shall fail, the box rain overturn. Forget it, broken days. Look at me, you see my toil. Promises broken,